Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've bellied up here on, what day in July? I think it's July 9th. Yep. And to my cousin Bumper, happy birthday, brother. You know you from the hood when you got cousins that aren't really your cousin, and then they got funky ass for names that I bet you I was probably well into my teens, almost 20s before I realized his real name wasn't Bumper and that it was Ronald. So happy birthday to you, brother. We'll give you a quick shout out here. We have bellied up today with a master of the mystic, a member of the, well, he's not really dark arts. So we're like, it's not really like a Harry Potter book, folks. It's our good friend joining us all the way from Texas. We're going to be talking about, can mediums help out with solving crimes? People who have those type of abilities. So joining us all the way from down there in Texas, it's our good friend Chris Garcia. Hey, bud, how are you?
Fine.
We're
Nice
gonna
to meet you.
we're gonna vet part of today's episode, folks, are to see if we can actually get Chris a ring camera. We'll be taking donations so that we can all see him in the dark corner of whatever room he's in right now. We're gonna be working on that. So make sure that see, why are you what is dinging over there, Chris? You're already
Uh,
starting. You're already starting. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the house cleaning stuff. You make everything stop dinging over there, okay?
okay.
You do that for me?
Yep.
You got to get closer to the camera. Nobody can see you right now. It's so dark where you're at.
Unless I
Get.
hold.
I know your
Unless.
girlfriend's right on the other side of the camera. Get her a flashlight or tell her to turn the camera on or the light on her phone on so everyone can see you.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, folks, as always, over my right shoulder is the big board for sticker and a cause. You have something you're supporting, something you believe in, something you think that's important for everyone to know about. You can reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's all the Above the Bar podcast. Our website is theabovethebarpodcast.com. Our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a message. Let us know what you got going on, what you're looking to support. I'll give you an address where to send it to. We'll let everybody know what you got going on so they can get your message. And it's free advertisement for you and everybody else. Again, the folks that sticker and a cause, whatever you got going on, let us know. Also, folks, let's talk about our sponsors. People that pay the bills around here. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson and Cooksaki, and Schoharie. North America's largest custom window treatment company. They deal with everything from blinds, shades, shutters, uh, motorization, window tinting, you name it, they've got it. They've got an opportunity for you to get it for your own place. They've got some really cool stuff out there, and they deal with all your major brands, folks. They're dealing with that Hunter Douglas, Lutron, everything. Look, Chris has already got the tarot cards out. He's preparing himself completely. So get ready, folks. You might even get look. If some of you drop your stuff here in the middle of this commercial, Chris might even be willing to do a reading for some of you. We'll see how we can work this out. If I pick you, I'll send you the link and let you come on here live with us. So, as always, folks, it's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Budget Blinds of Hudson and Cooksaki, and Budget Blinds of Schoharie. You let them know that you're there to belly up to the bar. They're going to give you an extra 5% off your entire order. And for this month, it is 20% off product and 5% off of anything motorized. So you got a chance to get up to 30% off of your window treatments, folks. Oh, Pam's already on here. What's up, Pam? Uh, so real quick, we've got all that done. All the house cleaning's over with. How are you, Mr. Chris?
Doing pretty good. I actually moved the tablet more closer, so hopefully that helped you. Um, but I'm glad to be on Sean. And by the way, guys, I've been on Sean's show with like, I think,
This is
second
like
time.
that was the third. I think. I think
Yeah,
it's the third
second
time
or
you.
third or something like that.
Yeah, we've done this a
There's
couple
been a
times.
lot of stuff that I've done a few readings for Sean. I even was just for like a minute, to help with. musician and I give him a
Oh,
reading.
that's right.
So I showed a little glimpse for like a minute or so, and then I bounced out. Um, but other than that, um, we can talk off whatever the subject is. But I just want you guys to know: can psychic solve cases?
Yeah, I'm curious.
That's
Like,
a
what's your feeling? Like, because this is how this conversation started. Real quick, folks, is Chris reached out to me and said that he had somebody had a case going on, and that with his gifts, he was able to connect. So, why don't you tell everybody about the case first?
that case. Well, we she's still on my Facebook, but we haven't talked because there's a lot of stuff that's gone behind the scenes in this chat that we were in. So a lot of stuff went just crazy. But the story with that case is that I won't say I don't know if I'm allowed to say names because I don't talk. I mean I talk, but it's not like we talk like we used to.
Okay.
I'll just say that her daughter was gonna went to meet this friend because her friend told her that some her ex she didn't want nothing to do with them. So she called her friend, which is the one that I was helping the case with, and she had to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. And how that worked was she showed up. She said, leave her alone. She wants nothing to do with you." And there was explanations of what really happened. This is where the I come in, what the cop said. So when she told her friend to, you know, she told that guy to leave her alone, he had a gun with him.
Oh,
hmm So it turned out to be that he helped her with the case. More actually, I did, and then I brought other people in the group chat. And what happened was I didn't know any prior knowledge of the case. I
oh
didn't know
wow.
absolutely nothing. And I started picking up stuff that there's just no way only the family knew and the detective on the case knew at that time. So I kept seeing like stories saying that he pulled a gun on her and
Okay.
killed a friend that said to back off to help the girl. But I think that the girl she was involved. She claims that she's innocent. At the time when we were doing the meeting, there was others that they didn't know what I did. So I tested other people, friends of mine, and we found out that those other people that were involved in it. Um, so it was the guy that was talking to the girl. The girl didn't want nothing to do with him. The other girl, which her name was Stephanie at the time, which I'll just leave it with that name.
Okay.
Stephanie said, "Well, back off. She doesn't want nothing to do with you." So he got mad and poop. But when we found out, other stuff came out, and he's like, I was just playing around. I didn't mean to shoot her." So they panicked, and that's where
You're
the explanation. Sorry, stupid crap. Sorry. Anyways,
here.
um, that's
We're freezing.
where they said that they put her body in the apartment. I don't believe they did that. She was out in the parking lot in front of the apartment
Oh,
complex.
wow.
So so it came out to be that now they got one of the guys in custody. The last time we talked to her, as far as the girl, she's still out there claiming she's innocent. But I think she did part of the getting rid of the body, or she sticking up for him, and I think she shot her. But the story was that he shot her friend, but I don't believe that. I still stick to my what I pick up, and from the last time we talked, she was getting justice for her daughter, and that's why it's been
Gotcha.
so time that we haven't talked. Things have changed, and I guess she's on her own. I don't know. We don't really talk.
That's
Um,
interesting. So you picked up a lot of different things. I'm going to ask you a quick favor there for me, Chris. You're kind of light and you're hard to hear you a little bit. Get a little closer to the mic if
Sorry,
you
I'm
can,
trying to
and
clear
then
my. Okay.
and I was going to say, ask your girlfriend to get you a glass of water or something like that because I know you're clearing your throat a lot. So we can. Oh, look at that! Like, dude, that's like the largest thing of lemonade I think I've ever seen. Did you take like a 2 liter of Smart Water and make lemonade out of it? Dude, that's a lot of lemonade. And again, folks, if you're here joining Chris and me, and you have questions, maybe you have a psychic type question you want to ask him, please drop it in the comments. Also, as always, give us a like, share, follow. It means a lot. It does change things. If you're finding me through Chris or Chris through me. So this girl had the entire situation. Somebody was murdered. They had reached out to you, and you were able. Did you know this girl before somebody reached out to you? You got to
No,
speak, bro.
sir.
It's a podcast right now.
No, sir, I did not.
So you
And that's
never
what
met
made
her.
I never met her because she was already dead.
Oh, the so her daughter had already passed.
Already dead. I just got to
Oh,
meet the friend, which is her mom.
gotcha. Now, in a situation, so I'm always curious about these things, and that's why we had technical difficulties, folks. Anytime I talk to anyone with any type of a psychic or medium background, for whatever the reason is, my technology likes to go the way of the dodo and start jacking up real quick. How you doing there, Tress? So quick question, like in a situation like that where you're somebody reaches out to you, does the person like are you seeing the person who's passed? Are they coming to you and communicating to you like that? There used to be that TV show, I can't think of what it was called, where the dead people would come to her and they would tell her,
The
oh,
dead
this
files.
person,
Dead files is
yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah, and
Well,
that
for
was
me,
by Dean Koontz.
I
Did you
think
know that?
that some of them, I think that some of them, to me, the way they come, I'm trying to speak as loud as I can. I'll speak a little bit louder. The way they come is that I believe that some of them will come as how they want to be remembered, and they'll come that way. Um, and then they'll come like the way that they kill, like if they come all in a pond of water, they're gonna come with dripping
Oh
indication
wow.
that they'll come like that they were drowned or somebody drowned them, and they'll see with a bullet, on their head. Sometimes I do get the graphic, even though I don't want to see it, but that's sometimes how they come. Throat's itching. Anyways, but like I was saying, is that they just come in different ways, and then they'll tell me telepathically what they need for me to say to the relatives if I'm not talking to them. I say, okay, well, you know what? What is it that you want me to say? Do I know the family member? And they'll tell me yes. And then if I don't, then I try to get a hold of the family if I can. And then they display a number. I call them and I hit them up. My
How has
second
that
resort,
been? Like, have you ever called somebody where you're just like, "Hey, look, I'm sorry. I got somebody here. They gave me your phone number. You know, they're trying to tell me something." Like, have you ever just had a situation like that?
with the cases I've done, usually some people are referred. They refer like from a friend. They call me and they say, "Well, I know a guy named Chris." And what they'll do is just I'll get like somebody that knows the family or a friend, and then they'll call me, and then that's how they'll do it. And they'll call me, but I've never had anyone that will just call me random, and I don't even know who they are, unless they say, "Well, I saw you on Sean's show" or nothing like that. I've been just lucky to have other people to to call me to from other people that will already know me, and they already know my reputation. So I just talk to them, and I get to say, okay, well, you know what? This is how it works.
Well, what I was actually referring to is, have you ever had like someone who's passed away, had, whether it was a violent situation or just in general passed away, that was like, hey, look, I don't know why I'm connecting with you, but I need you to call 518-555-5555 and let them know that I didn't pass away. It was actually the gardener was putting raid in my food, and I found out after I died. Like any kind of situation like that.
Honestly, that's weird you say that because I have had people come to me and but they'll tell me that, and then like I'm like, do I have a number? But sometimes it's not come like that, Sean. It usually comes with a name,
Gotcha.
and they can show me numbers, a phone number. That's rare, but that can happen. But I usually get names of the person that they want me to contact, and then that's the way it works.
Gotcha. Now, I want you to tell you, as you just threw that hard candy in, wherever your girlfriend is who handed that to you, she is absolutely awesome and a great support for you, because I know you were thinking to yourself like, man, what am I gonna do? I need a candy or something, and she handed it to you. So big shout out to her. And for those of you that are joining us here, John, I have to agree with you. It's an amazing ability and gift to have that. And we've talked about this before on the show, and maybe we should have done this at first. How long have you had this gift and realized that you had this ability to connect in this way?
I want to say since I was like 5, but started helping people when I was like between 10 and 12. So I started very young, but it's been like an inheritance from my grandma to my mom and now to me.
I was going to say, I remember you saying you had a big connection with your mom when it came to this. And Lady Mystic Lightwalker says, yes, psychic mediums can do crimes, cold cases, missing. I've been doing for quite a few years. I work speaking to spirits, channeling, etc. My number one is necromancy, see and feel the trauma. What's your feelings on that? Like, kind of crossing that line between connecting with people on the other side, that necromancy, connecting with them. Like, does empathy pass in a situation like that? Does that make sense how I'm asking it?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense. But sometimes they'll come like that and they'll just go through that, you know, way of like, they'll show me like the way they'll die. Like you said, if it shows like bones, where they're at, what happened, if they were cut up. I don't need to bring that up. Too graphic, cut up in half. There's some people that are really sick in the head. Not everybody dies the same. Um, so yes, it can happen that way. And the empathic and the channeling, which I've done before, they come in different ways, Sean. It's just everybody's different in how they work.
So over on Instagram, and I bring it up on this screen. So over on Instagram, good friend of the show and a good friend of mine, Isaiah Gill. Go follow Isaiah on Instagram, folks. He is an amazing drummer. Well, he's an okay drummer. We'll give him that. He's an okay drummer. No, he's actually pretty amazing. So Isaiah has asked the question: how was your first experience with working with like cases and stuff of this nature? What was that first experience like?
The first experience was amazing. I ain't gonna lie. But I did get some negative feedback from the police department because I got a hold of the police department. But lucky enough, I didn't know that the people were already on Facebook, so I had a family member that was this cousin. So I did have. I told them to tell them, well, if you don't find her within 24 hours, you're gonna find her by a wooded area, and it's not gonna be that far from a pier, and you're gonna find her in the water. They didn't
Oh
believe
wow.
me. They said, "How do you know this?" They got my number. How do you know this? I told them I'm a psychic. And I said, if you want to check me out, if you think I'm not legit, I'll give you my fucking number because I ain't got nothing to hide. Yeah, I mean, you're about maybe 6 hours from me. I mean, really? Why am I going to do that? I
Yeah,
don't even
right.
know who this person is. What
Yeah, like
alibi do I get for killing this person? And then coming back to San Antonio, I said, there's no way, you know.
Yeah,
And
viewers exactly.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, I kept up with them, and then they told me once I guess I was getting too close with the information, they told me not to call the department ever again.
Really?
So I had a bad experience the first time. And then I said, after the family said, well, we'll talk to them, but I never got a thank you from the police department. But the family appreciated me. And they did find her exactly what I told her because they didn't listen to me.
Wow, bro. So they were like, look, you're just picking up on too much. We need you to go ahead and knock it off and knock it off now.
Yep.
That's
Yes, sir.
wild.
Hmm.
That is that's a pretty wild one right there. That
That was my first case. And then after that, I've been very selective with people that if I could get a hold of them. Oh, this is for new people that are sharing the live. Please share this live. If you have a family member missing, you can reach me on the TikTok going across.
hold on one second. What, bud? I'm. This is what live is all about. When your 8-year-old starts yelling, "Daddy!" I'm in the middle of something. So it's like you can pop up and say hello. Wait, nobody's going to be able to. You can't hear anybody talking, but you can say hi real quick.
Hi.
All right,
Hi, nice to
that
see
works.
you.
That's Mr. Have a good day. Goodbye. So,
Have a good day. Goodbye.
oh god, listen, man, I got too many children. So the next question then becomes staying with Isaiah's question. He says, "How was the experience though within you? Was it visual, emotional? What was your thought process as you were working through this?"
It was visual. I saw a lot of stuff, what was happening. So but it's just crazy that
Like, how was it visually? Like, is it just like a mental visual picture, or is it?
it was like a movie playing. It was like a movie playing of everything that she was going before she disappeared until I caught up and followed her until she was no longer with us.
Oh
Hi,
wow!
Pam. Hi, Pam.
So you actually got to see the trauma of what went down in your head.
Yes, yes, I did. And how did that impact me? Um, as a psychic, even though the family did believe in me, they knew who I was. It did hurt me because I said, you know what? After all this work, at that time, I said, are you serious? The damn law enforcement think I'm a fucking idiot. Excuse my language.
You're fine.
And I just did not like that. And I thought, well, not all law enforcement believe in psychics. And
Right.
some of them don't like to admit they believe in them. Um, but at that time, it kind of turned me apart just to know that how people labeled me as, and it just really it did bother me. I'm gonna let you know that it did bother me, and it made me feel like crap. And that's the thing that I can actually say. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the sensation of the feeling of feeling like I was the criminal when I was trying to help them.
Like somehow you had done something wrong in this.
Yes, yes. And
I
I
say
felt bad.
Isaiah said this is the coolest, and if you know, he's probably the coolest person I know. He called you the coolest. Like he's a legit rock musician. I'm a legitimate like rock garden, so that's pretty cool, man. A legit musician said that. Does anyone? I'm currently willing to trade away an 8-year-old for a Happy Meal if he don't leave Dad alone because he's now wanting me to turn on video games. Can you use your psychic abilities right now, Chris, to tell him to leave me alone because I get 1 hour a week that I'm doing this? buddy, I can't help you right now. Daddy's doing his show. This is the real world. This is real life right here. How could Chris? I need to understand why you didn't know this was going to happen, and you couldn't use your abilities to let me know that he was going to bother me in the middle of the show.
You know what I keep seeing? He might say that he's wanting you to put the PlayStation or whatever he has, but I
Oh
keep seeing like he's getting hungry, but he's not gonna tell you that until like after. I keep seeing a burger, like,
yeah.
Daddy, can you give me a burger?
He always is asking for one of those. Isaiah says the coolest comment was from Mijo. By the way, I appreciate his Mijo. Appreciate the comment, but my little bro is the coolest. Daddy's doing this show. I love it. Isaiah is over here on the other side. Seeger says he'll give me 2 Happy Meals. That's a buddy of mine and my neighbor. So, I mean, moving forward with this kind of stuff. And look, folks, if you're curious about Chris, you want to know what he's got going on, you can go to Psychic28 on TikTok. Make sure you're giving him a like and a follow and a share to everything that he's got going on. A lot of really interesting stuff. A lot of people reach out to him. When you're dealing with these situations and these cases are coming up, I'm curious, have you ever just told someone like, nah, man, I'm not, we can't do this. I'm not getting involved in this, whether maybe it was the situation that's coming to you was too violent, or the other side to it is you just felt like, hey, this just isn't legit.
Honestly, have I ever had to say no? That's a good question. It may be
Thank you.
that there was one time where I did, and I said, this doesn't feel right. You need to find somebody else to do it. That was one time I did that.
What was it
And
about it that
honestly,
made you say no?
it just did feel like it was safe for my energy and safe for my protective space because I was going through a lot during that time. So I said, I'm not ready for this. I'm just not ready to do this. No.
So it was more of like your vibe and you with wherever your energy comes from. Looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. We need to walk away from this.
Mm-hmm.
How about like has anyone? I'm just this just came. So using my psychic abilities, this one just came. So have you ever had anything where somebody wanted you to investigate something that was more on the darker side of the paranormal, where they're like, "Hey, look, dad went missing, or little brother's starting to act a little funny. Um, can you come investigate this and use your abilities?" Anything like that?
Yes, I have. I've done that many numbers of times where the house was active. I told them, don't tell me anything. Show me the camera, locate it. And I would tell them where to go, and they were just like, oh shit, like, that
Really?
was a yes. And I told them where to go. And I told them it was there. And when I started hearing, like, and then there was a one time I heard one that was actually talking to me. Like, I can physically, like, hear it, spirit.
Oh wow!
And it was not happy that I was there. So it said,
Really?
like it got, like, get out, kind of thing, like, get out. But it
Like
was
some straight
very,
up. What was that? I can't even think of the name of the movie. Like straight up, like that
yeah,
was
but not
what
in
movie
that,
was that?
but not in a very nice way. It's like, get out, that
Uh,
kind
uh,
of, and I was like, that's not good. So,
Lady Mystic says you can feel it. What if it was more of it said it in a sassy way, Chris? Let me ask that question. If it was like, "Hey, you can get out now," like how would you like? Would you still follow it the same way? Uh,
I would make my faces and be like,
um,
okay.
I'm going to see if I understand what Isaiah is asking over here. He says, "Is the ability for the deceased? Is this ability for the deceased alone, or what about those that with limited communication?" So I think what he's asking here is, like, is this something where that's right, John? It was the Exorcist movie. I couldn't remember what it was. Uh, with your abilities, like, so if you were dealing with somebody, for example, maybe they were nonverbal, and with a form of autism, or they were in a coma, like, can you cross that line with your level of abilities?
Yes, you can. It would just be telepathic or more of mind talking because they wouldn't be able to talk, or they would have to, like, if they were deaf, because most people that are deaf have this weird way of speaking to where the words don't come out clear. So, yes, I've had that numbers of times where I feel like I could feel that I can do that. Chris did one for me. I had weird stuff going on in my home. We did a live feed. He helped with clarification and the person in my home. That's how I met Chris.
So that so what Chris was just reading is Tress just said Chris did want a reading for her. She had some weird stuff going on in her home. He did a live feed, help with clarification, and the person in her home. That's how the two of them met. Now, when she says clarification, what does she mean by that, Chris? I'm not a you don't have to tell me who it was, and she had like hold on. I'm gonna ask two questions. What does she mean by clarification? And is there a such thing as a spirit peeping tom?
Yes, spiritual peace and
Yes to
calm and
wit.
clarification, and clarification was more of validation. I knew it was that person that I thought it was.
Okay. So clarifying, like, hey, this is who I really thought. And Lady Mystic, you're gonna have to tell me what you mean by permission. So, like, is it permission, like, to do that? Is that a
some
man?
people, some people can do that, um, but some people, I guess, they ask permission. But for me, I guess every medium, psychic, channel person is different. But so, yeah.
Now, when Lady Mystic is saying permission, is that like permission to communicate with somebody? Permission to like I'm very curious because with your gift, I don't understand fully. Like, is it one of these kind of things that just kind of you're bombarded with information, or over all these years, have you? I mean, you're only 15. I mean, you said you started when you were 12. That's a joke, folks. He's not 15. If you're not watching the live, but have you learned to kind of like almost like a tuning of a radio station back in the
Yes,
day when we actually did those things? Have you learned to kind of tune to hear what you want and what needs to be heard?
yes, and what needed to be heard, yes. And it's really because sometimes I think with me, yes, I did ask permission, but most of them, they would come to me and I didn't even ask to, and I'm all like they do need permission, but everybody's different. For me, I didn't need that. They just came to me, and I was like, oh my God, it was just like how to make a difference between that. Oh, and by the way, guys, the dress when I helped her, I called it the Shadow Man with the hat.
That's
But if you
scary.
look at the Hat Man, uh, there's a book on him. Uh, he's been known to be like the shadow collector, is what I would call him. He does have spirits and souls that he collects, but it's not very pleasant. And it's funny that I'm getting this sensation on this side of my mind, so on the side of my brain, but I'm getting like empathic, like that. He has been around me when I work with cases. That Hat Man or the Shadow Man, whatever you want to call him, he has shown up on different occasions with other people that I have helped way back then.
Well, Lady Mystic, you're not stepping on anyone's toes. We love having the extra information and everything. He is a cryptid that I've been studying. So that's very interesting. So, like, I've heard that term, the cryptids. They creatures or things that have been around that they've been talked around in different cultures and all that. So you're saying what Tress was experiencing in her home was something ancient that's been around for a long time. People with
Yes.
gifts like yours, they're able to tap into this. And they're able to find this, like, like this is a person that's just been there. Uh, how does this work though? I guess I'm always curious, like how you know something like that. That I'm in Maryland and I experience it, and then I'm in New York. You're in New York and you experience it. How does something like that move around in such a way that in multiple locations, the same kind of thing people can experience, but they're not. This isn't an omnipotent being. Like, how does that work, or do you even know?
I want to say it's more as energy.
Okay.
Um, Energy travels, and this is what I'm being told to tell you, Sean. If you allow it, you can be thousands of miles, and you could be like a paranormal investigator. You
Say
don't
say it
never,
again. I'm missing you. Got to
like.
get closer.
So if you're going to a case, right, and you're an investigator, and they say, well, you know what, I need Sean's help. The energy travels. If you invite it, you can be 1,000 miles away, but it will still get you. It will need to tell you something. It's gonna get to you. You don't have to be in front of it to feel it.
Okay.
So energy travels. It's a frequency.
It's more like getting into like the idea of like ley lines and stuff like that.
Yes.
They're moving in a different process. I like how John says it. Spirit realm is different. I get that. I guess that makes sense. How that moves around. And again, folks, if you're just joining us or you're just jumping on here, if you want to know what Chris has got going on or you want to follow him more often, you can check him out on TikTok at Psychic28 on TikTok. Make sure everybody gives him a follow and all those kind of things. And if you're just jumping on and listening to us, please, please, please take a moment, like, share, follow, jumping on YouTube and Facebook and all those places and giving us a follow and sharing this out. That gets Chris's message out, gets my message out. It's always appreciated. And I like that, John. Could be a portal. Now, that's an interesting, like you hear and we think, you see them in movies, their own wormhole kind of thing.
Yep.
And folks, Chris and I've talked about this before. So if I'm leaving something out, Chris, please drop it in there. You've done a lot with other things like, gosh, what's the right term? Astral projection. Is
Yes.
that kind of like a portal? Like you've moved in astral projection type things. Is that sort of like how these spirits move?
I think they can. I've never like researched that, but I want to
You
say
or
they
me, Chris?
can. I believe that
One of
they
us.
can. I believe that they can. But I think with astral projecting, you can go only so far. Like you can probably go into time,
Who's freezing? Chris, is it
but
you or me?
it was you. It was freezing.
Or you?
It was you.
Oh, it was me. See, start back over because I lost you there for a second. So, as far as the astral projection, say it again for me. I apologize. I froze up.
Some
Told you.
spirit. I think spirit could do it, but
As soon as I
they
start
would
talking
go.
spirit stuff, my technology goes to shit.
Yes, yes, and that's another thing. Spirits can hear
Oh,
what we're talking about.
wait, no,
That doesn't mean that anything's around you. It's just that they listen,
don't
and they have a tendency to mess with frequency,
do
electronics. Um,
there.
so
Oh,
it has.
Tress. No, listen. I'm telling you, as soon as we start talking about spirit stuff on here, I start having technology issues. They know I'm getting the real stuff out, and they somehow either are showing up to say their piece or they're locking me up here. So let's try it one more time. So projections, portals, go.
Yep, but I believe that some of them can do that.
They just kind of move in the same way when you astral project.
Yes. Yeah.
I find that absolutely fascinating the way you that when you talk about that. Dude, John, they absolutely mess with my electronics. Always have. I think that goes back to like when you hear stories about people doing with psychics and whatnot, and they have their flashlight out and they're doing an investigation, and all of a sudden the battery dies because they're sucking that energy up. Dude, my house
Yep.
isn't. It's me. It's not the house. It's me. That's a good
Yep.
question. Here's one before we're getting a little bit closer and closer here to the last call here. Can people like we hear stories about houses being haunted, woods being haunted, all these different things, but can people be haunted?
Honestly, yes. Um, I think they're haunted because they're gifted. So no
What do you
matter
mean?
where what means, no matter where you move, you're always going to have activity because you're gifted. You're a magnetic. You draw spirits. You draw different energy to you. Draw different beings, entities, stuff like that. So no matter where you move, say, you know what, I'm going to move this house. But if you're really extremely sensitive, they're going to follow you. And it don't matter where you move. Yep.
Now, Lady Mystic has asked a question. I don't know if I've the answer to your question, Lady Mystic, is I think so, but I've never taken the time. She asked, "Do I have gifts?" The answer is I think so, but I've never taken the time like you or Chris to explore what that is. That's a whole conversation about things. I think I get very connected to people. You can have attachments also. I believe that I get very how help me understand this, Chris, and maybe you can explain it. I'll explain it to you, and you can tell me what it is. How's that sound? I will get to the point with people where if I'm thinking about something, I get so focused on what I'm thinking about, I don't say anything, and I don't think it's like hey, I'm telepathically so, but I'll be thinking about something, and people will go, and I used to always just blow it off, and people will be like, "Did you say something?" And I'm like, "I didn't say shit," and I used to just blow it off, and then I started going, "I didn't, but what did you think I said?" And they would tell me, and it was pretty spot on. As far as intuition, Lady Mystic, 100%. I've
I want to call
always been
that a
able to.
mind reader. A mind reader. They would finish your sentences. I've had that happen before where you could just look at me and say, what number or color am I thinking? Or what is the word that I'm thinking? And they would be spot on, Sean.
But they
That
hear
takes a
me.
lot,
They hear me.
but
I'm not hearing them.
it's just because they're hearing telepathically or there's a frequency that you're giving out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been very, very interesting to me, like where people say, and I've had plenty of experiences. Like my mom and I are very close because I'm an only child, where I've thought I've heard her call for me, and no one's in the house. And I'm like, and then talk to her. I'm like, hey, were you thinking about me or something coming up? Yeah, this is what happened. John says, in my field, in paranormal, I have to use my gifts. Intuition is good. There are some places I don't investigate. Interesting. Uh, Tress says, I see things, but I don't believe in provoking things or playing with Pandora's box. If you have something in your home, you have to find the right person to look into the case. So I'm going to tell you, and Tress and I, or not Tress, but Chris and I have talked about this. I'm a big firm believer in walking around the house and announcing to your home who's in charge, that you're there, especially if it's a new home. What do you think about that, Chris?
Yes, I say that you need to claim your space, and whatever's there needs to leave.
Have you ever had Have you ever had one bark back and be like, no, no, I'm not going nowhere?
Not with me, but I don't know about others.
And I believe that your gifts come from your mom. Nate, there's so much to unpack in that. You have no idea. Uh, John says, Tress, I totally agree. It's my sacred space. Real quick, folks, we are getting close. It's that New Scotland Spirits last call. So if you're looking for a whiskey that stands apart, New Scotland Spirits brings you small batch, handcrafted whiskey rooted in upstate New York pride, locally grown grain, time honored techniques, and bold flavors in every pour. This isn't just whiskey, it's New Scotland. Perfect for slow sipping, gift given, or raising a glass to a job well done. Visit newscotlandspirits.com to find your bottle. New Scotland Spirits, local grain, legendary taste. That's this, folks. If you're around upstate New York, make sure you get yourself some. So we're getting close to the end here. Chris, if somebody wants, do you want to do a reading or anything?
Well, that's if they ask, but that's only if they ask. If they don't, then I
We ain't gonna
won't.
do it. So now you've been with me. So if somebody is interested, send me a message. I'll see if I can figure out how to get to your Facebook or something like that. Or if you can find me on Facebook, I'll switch to the podcast Facebook page. It'll let me. You can send me a message and maybe we'll.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat in my other phone, but there's nobody asking a question. Now,
Yep.
does anybody have a question for me? Um, if not, y'all can reach me on Facebook or Psychic28, or if you want to reach me on my cell phone, but do not call me right now, 210-974-3470. 210-974-3470. I do want to say promotion.
Yes.
Um, that my fiance is trying to get into tarot, and I believe it's called Brittany Tarot on Facebook. I believe it's the page. I don't recall. I think it's something good, but
Well,
but
well,
she wants to help people and like try to help her out to promote her page, and she's trying to open up, but it's just that nobody knows about her, so I'm promoting her as well. Um, where did she get that from?
so I gotta
Uh,
ask you. So Chris, gotta. I mean, hold on a sec, because my wife's off camera right now. Do you want Chris to do a card reading for you, or are you interested tonight? He's done one before for you. Do you want another one? She's saying no. She's smile. Here's what's funny, Chris, is she's smiling ear to
I
ear.
want to. I just got
With
the little guy to bed.
well, look, tell him he can watch a show. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? No, no. You want it so bad. Look
yes,
at
she
this.
does. I can see it. And I
Look, you.
feel
She
it.
is smiling from ear to ear because she loves all this.
I do.
But she's in trying to put the peanut to bed that was trying to get on camera as much as he can.
Was he really?
Oh yeah, he was trying. Say hi to Chris. You remember Chris? Here, Chris. April's gonna say hello.
Hi,
Nice
Chris.
to, hi, nice to see you.
Yep. You sure you don't want it? I mean, I'll give you the earbuds, everything.
Okay, so
I gotta
okay,
put the
so
little guy to bed.
Here, you want an
so what?
earbud so you can hear Chris? It's got to go in your right ear. She has very tiny ear holes, so
I
they
do.
never fit. Oh, she's gonna leave us. Never mind, Chris. So if anybody else is interested, send me a quick message. You should read. You should do Nate. Where are you at, Nate? Let him do yours. And maybe he can help you make a prediction on how to draft during our fantasy football season. Since you're not very good at it, he can help you
Nate,
out.
Nate, do you want a card? I don't even know if you're still in here.
I can't tell. That's the only downside to this is you can't tell. So if somebody wanted to contact you, I know you gave out your phone number, gave out some other stuff. What's some of the other things that you're doing on TikTok on a fairly regular basis that somebody may be interested in?
Well, I do free readings on TikTok, for examples. So if you want to get free reading and you're on a budget, I will help you as much as I can. You just gotta catch me. I think anytime from now till 9 p.m., 10 Central Time. Um, or if you have Facebook and you're not too much on Facebook, check me out on Messenger. Just try to find me on, if you're friends with Sean, just hit me up, and I shouldn't be that hard to find. Now, if you can't find me because I'm hard to find, then hit Sean up on his Facebook, and then he'll hit me up and say, Chris, I got a new customer, to blah, blah, blah. But
Absolutely.
hopefully,
I mean, well, you're very approachable with all these different things. How about any? Here we go again. They have attacked us again. Whatever the spirits are, they don't want us to keep going. Uh, Tress says she has a question. I am a legal batter over. I have a legal batter over my roof. I had Oh, I'm in a legal battle over my roof I had built on the front of my house over my ADA handicap ramp. Will this issue be resolved soon with the city, or do you think uh, I will get to keep it? So I guess it sounds like the city's trying to tell her she can't have her ADA roof, which sounds just dirty. Like that just sounds like a horrible thing. Like Tress, even if as Chris is digging into it, and I can see him falling into his moment. You, if any city who tells you can't have a roof over your ramp, an ADA ramp, is just scummy.
Uh, I think to me, I think they're gonna try to give you issues because you're going against protocols on their end. But I feel that if you can come with an agreement without taking you to court, I think you'll be fine to get it. But they're just gonna give you, little issues. But I think if you know the right people, trust, you're gonna be fine. Just believe in praying and seeking answers. And you ask and you shall receive. But you gotta believe that, put that positive energy into it. Don't think anything negative. And the city has no right to do that because as long as you're trying to make then you should be fine with it. But every state is kind of mean, I guess you can say. I see it as you should be fine. Now, if they don't, you might want to take them to court. Hopefully, that doesn't come to where you have to do that, but I think you should be fine.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do, Chris. Since nobody's looking to have their cards read tonight, we're gonna ask a few current topic events. And I want to see if the spirits can speak to you and help us figure some of this out. How's that sound? I think this will
So,
be fun. I just
yeah,
thought about this. All right. April, my wife April says she's following you. So the first one, uh, I bet you just want the issue over Tress. I don't blame you. So the first question is, does the Epstein client list exist and will we ever get to see it?
I've been told. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, for some reason, I keep getting like no, but I think some things are going to try to prevent. But I think if people can all agree with it, I want to say yes. But right now, I'm seeing at the present time, no. But I feel that I think some of people will be able to see it. Is you just have to have the connections to do it.
all right. Here's a geopolitical question that it gave me. The ongoing tensions and conflicts around the world, such as conflicts in Ukraine or in the Middle East, and their potential impact on global stability, will we see any calm down?
For anything for to calm down,
Right. So, all these different things that are going on, all these different conflicts, will we see any of this start to settle down? What are the spirits telling us?
we're about to get a little bit worse. So I'm being told to tell everybody get ready, buttercups, because it's about to get worse.
It's, I don't want to hear that. Fucking hear that shit. Tell your spirits that's bullshit. Um, how about here's one. I love this one. If the spirits know this one, we're into it right now. Um, the future of space travel, including the exploration of Mars and possibility of space colonization, is that anything that the spirits think we will ever see in our lifetime? And how does that and how would that affect the spirit realm if it's not our own planetary realm and we're in another planet?
I think some of us will see it, but some of us won't live to see it. Because I've heard about that, where they can do from here to space. There will be like I think there will be a way to go from here to space, but it's going to be through a tube. They won't have to go on a plane. But if that is possible, it would have some higher technology.
I don't know that. I mean, you don't have to, but be honored if you did. Not a troll. Lots of love from. Hey, I love the love from Manchester, brother. We appreciate you. We'll take a look at you. So, but how does that affect? That's a great question. Like, I'm very curious. Like, if all of a sudden, we made it to Mars and we started to colonize, would there? Are you all right in Texas? I know y'all having all kinds of stuff. Are you
No,
safe?
no,
Are you safe?
that's a child abduction alert. Sorry,
Oh, one
that
of those Amber alerts.
I can't do nothing about
Chris
that.
getting Amber alerts. Like we started talking about aliens and other worlds, and Chris getting Amber alerts like he's about to get abducted. Holy shit, Chris is about to get abducted. Folks, please pray for Chris to not to be abducted tonight. That's but I always have so many questions for you, Chris, in this, and you're very well versed in all of it. And please, folks, check out Psychic28 on TikTok. Give Chris a follow and everything. But is there a difference? And I always wonder, I feel like the line's a little blurred for most people. Yes, Virgil, make any observation you have. Good night, Lady Mystic. You are amazing. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Um, is there a difference between the paranormal world and the extraterrestrial world?
I want to
Does that
say yes. I
what
want
do
to
you
say there's. I want to say there's a big difference um, from our frequency to Astro and the ET. I want to say there's a big difference between what they believe in and what we do. So I believe that there's a big difference. Yes.
okay? All right, Chris, we got like a couple of minutes. Nobody else won their cards right. Flip the cards. Give me my first card and tell me what you got.
Okay. What does Sean need to know?
What you get me? What do I need to know? First card. Flip it out. Tell me what you got. And just so you know, folks, I don't talk to my guests before shows. Chris always tries to get me to, and I'm like, nope, we'll talk on the show. So he doesn't get any special treatment, even though we talk. So we're gonna see
That
what
rest and generate. They're being told to do some meditation for you, Mr. Sean. You
rest and
need to generate, meaning that you're exhausted and that you need to recharge. And then I'm being told doors to personal healing and happiness. So you need to do some healing, be happy, and do some healing. I'm getting the word yoga, do some exercise. What was that laugh for?
I'll tell you in a minute. Let's see. What does this say? Thank you so much. I first started out in psychiatry here in Manchester. It explained mood elevation, patient mood, treated resolution, decision, prospect pain, not a common severe depression. There's a psychomotor retardation, which okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about, brother, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. It's funny because my wife, I love yoga. My wife is always telling me I need to go back to doing yoga again because with my back and everything, yoga was like the greatest thing, but I am back in the gym. That's very interesting. Well, look, folks, we're getting ready to close things up here. Believe it or not, folks, and it's funny he was talking about rest and relaxation. There is no show next week, folks. Or no, is it next week? No, there's a show next week. I actually that reminds me. I didn't hear, I got to put this guy's stuff in. So there is a show next week, but in 2 weeks, there's no show because I am going on vacation and I need a vacation. I'm ready for a vacation. So make sure that you're giving Chris like, shares, follow. Our next guest is a gentleman by the name of Jason Johnston. Jason, let me get my whole thing up here. Jason is CEO and founder of Trevent Inc. But that's just a fancy title used to justify spending way too much time solving email marketing headaches. He's an entrepreneur journeying kickoff. He started at age 15, primarily focusing on cool clothes and costing money was what he was trying to do. But he realized what he could do with email campaigning. So we're going to be talking about that, some entrepreneurial stuff. Folks, I love that stuff. Make sure you're giving Chris like, shares, follows, giving all of us like, shares, follows. Look, Tress, I might have to. I love hot yoga. I'm a big, big fan of hot yoga. Uh, I will read it. I didn't quite read it, get it all. It didn't all pop up for me, bud. Thank you, John. I appreciate you guys. We do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lucas wanted you to know that he's saying hi there, Chris. Daddy,
Hi.
can you tell Chris his saying? His saying is, gosh, my brain just stopped for a minute. Is who knows but when is his saying. He created that himself. So he wanted you to know his saying, who knows but when. He created that himself. So as we do it, and I got to look at, I swear every time I hear your dog barking thing, it reminds me of the start of that song. God, what song? You know the song I'm thinking of, right?
Who let the dogs out?
No, it's Jane's Addiction, Stealing.
Oh.
From Jane's Addiction, it starts off with dogs barking at the start of the song. That's too funny. Let's see here. So, as always, folks, this is episode 290. I know Chris is well versed in everything on the Above the Bar podcast. He's been doing this for a while with me. This is going to be episode 294, Chris. 294.
Wow.
So thanks, John. I appreciate you. Always a lot of fun. So as we do on all other 293, and you've done this before with me, brother, and don't log off afterwards. We got to talk for a couple minutes. The guest always gets the final word. So what is our final word tonight, Chris?
Live life and just know that just be happy with what you have. Time is limited. Enjoy it. Don't let no one take your joy. And God bless you.
Alrighty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.